Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Gianna Lian and I basically just bring you along throughout my life. So guys, as you can tell from the title of today's video, I'm finally giving you guys a monthly wrap up. Well, not 1 month, but 2. I didn't end up posting a November wrap up because I didn't have the best reading month, and I thought that it would be much better if I just combined November and December together so that I can give you guys a little bit better of a wrap up than if I just did 1 month. So I have all the books that I read here in the months of November and December, and I'm very excited to share them with you guys. Enough of me talking, I'm gonna jump right into my reviews and thoughts on these books. I am gonna start off with the books that I read in November first, but in not any particular order. So the first one that I'm gonna start with is I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. As you guys know, if you watch my other videos, you know how much I adore this book. This is a memoir, so I don't really like to rate memoirs because that's just my personal preference, but I did technically rate this book infinity out of 5 because this is my all-time favorite book that I've ever read in my entire life. It was just so powerful. Even from the jump in this book, I fell in love with it. I felt like the writing was so raw and touching, and I think that it was mostly just really interesting to me that I grew up watching Jeanette on Sam and Cat and iCarly, so it's really cool to see her true story because I had no idea that she was going through this when I was watching her on TV as a little kid. And I think that the whole execution of this book was just breathtaking. Like I said before, it's just such an extremely powerful book that really opens your eyes to a lot of things. I don't even have any other words. It was just such an amazing read. Next, I read Gutter Child by Jill Richardson. This was a book that I had to read for school because I'm in grade 12 English. Not fun. Anyways, so this was a book that I was assigned to read, and honestly, it wasn't that bad. I ended up giving this a 3.75 out of 5 stars, which isn't terrible for a school book. I am gonna say right off the jump that this was the best school book that I was assigned to read, surprisingly. This book does deal with a lot of very important topics that I was very interested in becoming more educated on because I am not that aware of these things that are going on in this book, so I felt like it was really nice to really have a deeper understanding, if that makes sense. But overall, I really liked the depth of the plot in it and all the detail that was included in each conflict and event that happened in it, and I felt like all the characters were also super in-depth, and I really got to connect with every single character, which was very nice in the book. This book definitely deals with a lot of heavy topics, but important topics regarding race. It was just really sad to see how the characters were treated and how much they suffered throughout the book. Overall, I learned a lot of amazing things, and I am glad that I was forced to read this one. It wasn't as bad as I thought. And lastly, in November, end of November, early December, I picked up American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. You guys know how much I was raving about this book. When I first picked it up, I was very excited about this, but I'm sorry to break it to you guys, but I DNF'd this book. I think I mentioned this in my best and worst books of 2022, which you guys can go watch. It'll be linked down below, as always, in the description. But yeah, I DNF'd this one. I tried so hard to push through it because I wanted to love it so much so I could watch the movie. I just couldn't get into it. It was so descriptive, which some people would think is amazing to have a very descriptive and detailed book. It was descriptive to the point where I did not care what suit everyone was wearing. I did not care how much he loved fashion and how much he cared on how he looked to everyone else and how he presented himself. I did not care about that. It was so boring and there was nothing going on. I made it halfway through the book and there was nothing exciting going on. I had to DNF it. I could not push through it any longer. I just really hated this book. Moving into December, I started my month off with reading Nothing But the Truth by Holly James. I've had this book for a while and I finally decided to pick it up on a whim. I don't know what I was feeling. Maybe I was feeling a little bit in a slump after American Psycho, so I wanted a smaller book. I actually read this in Costa Rica, which was a pretty fun book to read while I was there, but This book was super interesting and nothing like I've really ever read before. We have a romance. It's a romance novel, but it's a pretty unrealistic plot line. Basically, our main character, what is even her name? I don't even remember her name. Lucy. Our main character, Lucy, she wants to have the most perfect day on her birthday, so she wishes over a cocktail that she will have the most perfect day. And when she wakes up, she can't tell a lie. She can't lie to anyone. There's just a whole bunch of drama that happens, and it was pretty interesting, but very unrealistic. Overall, I ended up rating this a 4 out of 5 stars because it was pretty good. I think what I liked most about this book is the author's writing style. It was super easy to get into. It was just really enjoyable to read. And not only that, but I did fall in love with our main character. She was extremely funny and so real. She had no filter at all, and it was so enjoyable. But I do think that a con that I have for this book is that one of the things that happens in this book, I'm not gonna say because it is a pretty big spoiler, but it happened really fast. It was kind of instant, if you know what I'm getting at. It was just a little bit too fast for me, but with the length of the book, I do understand, but still. In the regards with the ending of the book, I did really like the ending. I was content with it, and I didn't really feel like I wanted anything more from it. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. And since it's the month of December, you obviously know that I had to pick up a Christmas book, so I picked up There's Something About Mary by Cody Hall. And funny enough, I have actually never read a Christmas book before, which is surprising considering I love Christmas so much. But I'm really glad that I picked this up because this ended up being a 5-star read for me, which is crazy to say considering it's like a cringy Christmas book. But I really enjoyed this. It was so cute and I was smiling the whole time, and I just was living all the Christmas vibes. Everything was so perfect, especially reading this like a few weeks before Christmas. It was everything. But we basically have like a single dad trope going on in this book. We have a bunch of tropes going on that all just connected so nicely together, and the tension between the two characters was insane. I loved it. Their personalities in both the characters were just amazing. I fell in love with every single character in this book. Even if they were annoying, I still fell in love with them. It was the perfect book for Christmas. But the one thing that I do have to say is that the chapters are pretty long. They're probably like 18 to 20 pages each. And then there's also like lots of aspects of online dating and lots of found family, which I absolutely love. This book is surrounded by loving, caring families. I highly recommend next Christmas, or if you want a Christmas book going into the spring or the new year, pick up this one because it is so good. And the last book that I picked up in the month of December was Winter Girls by Lori Halls Anderson. Before I even get into what this book is about, this was a 5-star read for me, guys. I absolutely adored this and fell in love with it along with the last one. I actually annotated this one as well. I really enjoyed annotating this and really analyzing everything that was being dealt in this book because it is a pretty dark and sensitive book. Check trigger warnings on this one if you guys end up reading it. It does deal with heavy topics of suicide and eating disorders and depression in general. So I would definitely check trigger warnings if you guys wanted to pick this up. But this book is basically about two best friends that were very close to each other, but they came up with this competition to see who could be the thinnest. One of them actually ends up losing their life from this. So basically we have our other character coming to terms with her best friend's death and coming back from it, and not only that, but recovering herself, really reflecting on everything that's happened to her best friend and learning from it so then she doesn't go down the same path. But also at the same time, even though her best friend did pass away from this, she is also struggling as well herself, and obviously with something like that, it is not easy to recover just so quickly. It is definitely a whole battle in your mind, and it was just really touching to get an inside look on another character that is struggling with a mental illness that is truly deadly and so mentally draining. But yeah, so I rated this a 5 out of 5 stars. Another thing to mention is I really liked the timelines in this book. It jumped from past to present, but in a very unique way. It wasn't distinct on when it was past and when it was present. A lot of the pasts were mostly just like quick little memories, which was pretty cool and something that I don't normally typically read in a lot of my books. Overall, I really enjoyed the end. It made me very happy and very content. The end just made me feel super, super good. Hopefully that's not giving any spoilers. Overall, just absolutely loved this one, and it was extremely relatable to read. That is another reason why I love this book so much, because I felt like I could connect with all the characters and the situations that were put into this book. Highly recommend if you want more of a more sensitive and darker book. But yeah, those are all the books that I read in the months of November and December. Here's our little stack right here. I feel like with everything going on with school, I feel like I'm falling off on reading, and it's really upsetting, but I am trying to read as many books as I possibly can with juggling school and you guys. But yeah, no, I think I did pick up some really good books for the books that I did read. I found 2 new 5-star reads and some other good ones as well. I'm excited for my January TBR to come out soon, because I do have some really, really good books on that I'm excited to share with you guys. And I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys did, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff you guys know how to do. And I want you guys to let me know down below in the comments what your favorite book that you read this December. And let me know if you read any Christmas books, because I feel like I should have read more Christmas books, but with the one that I did read, I was pretty happy with. Anyways, let me know down below in the comments, because I would love to hear from you all. And yeah, I think that's all I have for you guys today. It was kind of a short video, I'm sorry. But with that, I hope you guys are having an amazing, wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!